Keep in mind that the ideas in this video are nothing more than ideas. You don't have to implement them if you don't like them. They're just here to give you ideas so that you can create your own custom figures. Now, if you purchased the Cyborg line that is out now, the Build-A-Figure, because you are interested in this particular figure. However, it's really not that desirable the way they've presented it. But the arm that they've just given us has a lot of potential. It can be worked on. Let's take it apart and put some lights in it. So let's start by adding some hot water or just some heat from a hairdryer to the actual piece and peeling away that top piece off of the arm, because the glue will soften up. Now, if you want to use a knife, you're going to have some trouble. You're going to have to use heat to release it from its base. Once you release it, we can work on it. Now, the best way to create those lenses is using a silicone mold. And because it's a silicone mold, it creates an exact duplicate of where it was, just like you see here. Fill them in with resin, let it harden, and then trim them down to fit inside those holes that you cut. Now, the wiring that you see inside are the LEDs that I've placed in, and those are from evandesigns.com. Now, once you place in your red lenses, you can paint them with the Tamiya X27 to make them a little bit brighter in color. And these are the tiny tools you're gonna have to use to trim them down. A file, some needle nose tweezers, and an X-Acto knife. Not necessarily in that order. If you've got other tools that you prefer to use, that's all up to you. But you will have to cut them down and shape them to make them fit. This is what it looks like when you darken down the screen of the camera to see how bright they are. Now, I've used this board and this battery before on several other projects, including that resistor that you see on the left side. And I've put it all together ahead of time just to speed up this video. But I do want to show you where I placed the actual switch. And that's going to be in the top half of that unit that goes on the arm. And we'll get to that just a little bit later. Now, on the inside, all of the lighting that you see here is obviously from evandesigns.com. This slot that I cut at the bottom, that's for my USB-C connector. And I'm going to use something very different. This is what I want to show you. It's a magnetic USB-C charging cable. Or I should say the USB-C portion of it is the connector itself. It comes with 3 different connectors. In this case, a USB connector, USB-C connector for my charging unit. And this thing fits in really tight. It's not coming out. So you don't have to glue it in. But once you connect it to the opposite magnet, it will charge that battery without having to open the unit. Now, here are my wires inside. I've coiled them because I have excess wire. One of those has a actual chip on it that causes the light to flash repeatedly. The other is a continuous light. But once you put everything together, it works really, really well. And I saw this used on a different video on a project on somebody who worked on an Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters. And they showed you that they charge it this way, but they didn't show you how they did it. They only told you about it and left you a description, but no video was shown. So I'm saving you the trouble of having you go through that hassle and try to figure it out. This is what it is. And you can get this from Amazon. Now, once you place everything in here together, there is very little room to actually add lights or access to those charging lights, or I should say the status lights of the charging board because there's such little room. Later on in a later segment, I'll show you how to light up the front end of the cannon. For now, this is what this video will center itself on. In any case, I hope that you were able to learn something today. I hope that you liked the video. Any questions, make sure you leave those in the comments below, and I'll certainly get back to you. Keep in mind that the end of the video clip does not have the piece glued together, as we still need to continue the project until we get everything together. Then we can paint it all as one unit. If we paint everything separate right now, we may not get the same tones from one to the other, and we gotta match things, etc. So it's best to paint everything together as one unit. In the meantime, keep customizing. We'll see you here next time.